Welcome to the Rum Revival. My name's Arminder, and today we're talking about and drinking these 3 new cocktail-focused rums from Rhum JM out of Martinique. This is their Atelier series. So I'm gonna be trying these rums in a bunch of different cocktails with the guests. But before we do that, let's talk about these rums. Now, the idea behind the range was to take 3 characteristics of the terroir surrounding the distillery and highlight each one in a different release through very specific barrel manipulation, aging, and blending. First and foremost, as with all of Rhum JM's rums, these are all calm distilled cane juice rums. Now, the Jardin Fruite or Fruit Garden was aged 24 months in lightly toasted French and American oak casks and bottled at 42% ABV. Now, here the flavor profile is all about a medley of different fruit-forward flavors and aromas with a touch of spice. Then there is the Creoles or Creole spices, and this has been aged a minimum of 3 years in a combination of new and used American and French oak of varying toast and char levels and bottled at 46% ABV. Now here the flavor profile is very much about a mix of big, bold, warm spices. And the last release is the Fumee Volcanique or volcanic smoke. Now it's been aged 12 to 14 months in super heavily recharred bourbon barrels and then bottled at 49% ABV. Now this one is all about earthy smoke and burnt oak. And in terms of pricing, they're all around $40 to $45. Now this isn't a cocktail tutorial or cocktail making video. Think of this as more of a tasting video to see what kind of cocktails these rums really work well in. And I can't think of anyone better suited to the task than someone who makes cocktails and especially rum cocktails for a living. It's the one and only Doc Parks. Hey, Doc.
How you doing?
Good, man. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
It's a treat.
So Doc is a bartender extraordinaire. He has helped open and manage a number of amazing tiki bars here in the Bay Area. And you actually started though at Trader Vic's.
Trader Vic's was my first bar gig in the Bay, which, was a great foundation to what has been a really fun career. The bar at Trader Vic's Emeryville looks out towards San Francisco. Ultimately, I knew that I wanted to go work in the city. Worked at Local Edition, which is how I got introduced to the Future Bars group. That is who I was lucky enough to, captain the Pagan Idol opening as well as the Zombie Village opening. So, we had a pandemic, so I got to close Zombie Village, then reopen Zombie Village, became a father around that time as well. And we had moved up to north of the Bay in Fairfield, and then the Wilford's opportunity came my way and they needed a cocktail program and ended up GMing for the first year and getting that place going as well.
What do you got going on this year? What can people expect when it comes to all things Doc Parks?
Well, I am doing a little encore tour. We had a really good time last year. I did a national tour, as you know, saw you at numerous stuff.
Yeah.
And we had such a good time that we wanted to do a little more. There were some cities we weren't able to make it to, some friends bars that I really wanted to get to as well. And this is all, of course, in preparation to open up my own place finally. So stay tuned for that.
All right, so enough about this guy. Why don't we start talking about these rums here? And I think before we start making cocktails with them, why don't we try them neat?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, so we've got all the rums poured here neat, and we're gonna kind of taste through them and see what we think.
It's time.
All right, let's do it. So we're gonna start off with the Jardin Fruite. So I don't know about you, but I definitely get a little bit of fruit.
Beautiful bouquet.
Yeah, right? I don't know if it's honeyed or a little there's a touch of cinnamon or nutmeg even.
Yeah, I'm getting some spice there
Yeah.
as well as honey for sure. Like a stone fruit
Yeah.
medley.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right, let's go for it.
Oh yeah, good tannin structure on that. Get the oak exposure for sure. A really nice round fruit on the mid palate.
Yeah.
Great balance on this one.
Yeah, it really is like a nice little mix of honeyed spiced fruit. Mm-hmm. The Épice Creole.
That first one sounded pretty believable.
Yeah, it did, right?
Épice Creole. I'm rolling my R's like a Spaniard. Please forgive me, internet. Go easy on me.
And not a whole lot of spice on the nose.
Right.
Just good kind of overall barrel oak.
Real nice barrel, yeah. I feel like if you were to kind of line this up in a blind bourbon tasting, you'd get some new rum fans out of that. Fruit really comes out on the palate.
A heavier emphasis on the fruit.
Right, but not so much on the nose.
This I'm getting a lot of now after my second or third sip, like a spiced ginger, overly spiced gingerbread, a little bit like a
ginger snap even.
Yeah. And this is the one that's been aged the longest. This is a minimum of 3 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a little more depth of the oak on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And the spice really shines on the finish.
Let's move on to the third one, the Fumee Volcanique.
And yeah, really delicate nose.
Yeah, very different than these two. I'm actually picking up a lot more just natural cane juice, more of the raw distillate.
Yep.
but it's maybe...
There's a silky butteriness too.
Yes, you're 100%, I'm getting that butteriness, yeah. Okay.
Definitely a creaminess.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
And then the oak does poke out there.
But, you know, if I was reading the label and the description, and they really talk about how it's a smoke, you know, heavy emphasis on smoke, I'm not full on getting that. Like, it's not like an aggressive, you know.
It does somehow drink a little bit more like a scotch, though, compared to the other two.
Interesting, yeah, okay. But here's the crazy thing, though, dude. This is a 49% ABV. It doesn't really drink like that.
Yeah, dangerous.
Yeah, right?
This is going to be a lot of fun drinking these cocktails.
Yeah, I know, oh my God. If you had to pick one to kind of be a rum that you'd reach for as a sipper, where are you gravitating towards?
I'd probably keep it at the Jardin Fruite, if I'm saying that correctly. Yeah, number one here to me is like just an easy sipper, reliable, not overstated.
Yeah.
And the Épice Creole, I feel like with that little bit of proof, how dynamic it is, both between the nose and the palate, it's gonna really stand out well in these cocktails.
Yeah, great point. I think of the three, I'm most excited about seeing how this performs in cocktails.
Yeah.
And on that note,
Let's find out.
yeah, let's do it. We've got our cocktails here, and I just want to caveat first that, unlike Doc, I am not a bartender. So, you know, real talk, I was a little intimidated with Doc coming here that I was going to make him a bunch of different cocktails, and he's going to judge me. And he may say he's not going to judge me. A little bit. So I hope you cut me some slack.
You'll know by how much of it gets consumed by the end of this.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
These are rum agricoles, and kind of the classic expression of drinking rum agricoles is in a tea punch. And so that's what we have here. Literally rum, lime, sugar, right?
Yeah.
It's the alchemy, you know, of those three ingredients goes a long way. So we'll start off with the Jardin Fruite. Cheers.
Cheers. No surprise there.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Cane syrup has really rounded out that sweet fruit note. The lime adds just a little pop of accent to it.
But it's really just that rum that it all stands on.
Good, easy drinking, aged tea punch.
Yeah, I'd be real happy if I ordered a dealer's choice tea punch and this is what got delivered. So maybe you are a bartender.
What? All right, we'll move on to the Épice Creoles. Cheers.
Yes, indeed.
Definitely spicier. That lime almost kind of accentuates a little bit of the spice. I'm getting a lot more of that cinnamon kind of dancing on my palate.
Yes, the cinnamon, citrus, and the extra proof allows it to go a long way on the finish.
Yeah, you're right.
cocktail.
The finish is still, kind of doing its thing. I kind of like that. Move on to the Fumee Volcanique.
Volcanique.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Still getting that cream of corn.
Yeah, that note still
Yeah.
kind of shines. Interesting play with the cane syrup.
Yeah.
The way that kind of gets together and creates a nice richness, a texture.
Yeah, it does. The smoke, I think this, I'm getting it more now. It's like a woody smoke.
Like the way your clothes smell after being around a campfire all night.
That is actually really nice.
If I had to pick a favorite,
Yeah.
the middle.
Okay.
I think it's the Creole for me.
Nice.
Only because it does kind of stand out a little bit.
Yeah, I am gonna also go with the Creole. So we've added a little bit of crushed ice, not a whole lot, just a little bit to maybe let it open up a little bit, let the rum open up. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm getting a lot more juicy fruit. Juicy fruit gum.
What a great reference, juicy
Juicy
fruit.
fruit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a specific flavor.
Cheers.
Cheers. Still really love that.
It has kind of pared down the spice a little bit, and we're on the finish, it feels like it's a longer spice note.
Yes.
As opposed to like a hit of spice.
Correct. Should we see what happened to number 3?
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Buttery goodness. Oh.
That reminds me of something. What does it remind me of? Hold on.
Well, you know what? It's kind of peaty.
I was gonna say it reminds me of a Scotch and soda that's been a little bit watered down.
Yeah.
You know, with some lime in it, in a refreshing, you know, kind of booze hound kind of way.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one of these, honestly, I'd probably pick this. This is interesting and different.
I think we both went with the Fumee Volcanique for an iced tea punch.
Indeed.
All right, so for the next cocktail, we wanted to stick with classic combo of rum, lime, sugar. So we are going with some daiquiris.
The holy trinity
Yes.
of cocktails.
And we'll start off, as always, with the Jardin Fruite. Cheers.
Cheers. That's gorgeous. The fruit and the lime really do something nice here. You get the stone fruit vibe is definitely in there. There's not an overstatement of that spice note.
No.
The cinnamon almost gets like, you know,
Yeah.
brought way down. And yeah, the sugar, of course, brings out that cane juice note. I could slam that whole thing right now.
I'm not gonna stop you. All right, Épice Creoles.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm tasting less of the lime on this one.
Yeah, the rum with the extra proof and maybe just the
extra aging.
The extra age as well.
Yeah.
The rum pokes its head out a little bit more, stays on top. I prefer my daiquiris to be a little bit on the spirit forward side.
Yes.
You want that balance, but you want the rum to show character. Again, I feel like the spice falls back with that extra amount of lime and sugar in there. I remember tasting it neat. This one had that really a more intense tannin structure.
Yes.
You get that on the finish with this. This is a treat.
Yeah. All right, Fumee.
Fumee.
Fumee once, something, Fumee twice.
Fumee twice.
Okay, yeah, interesting.
This is a really special rum.
It really is, right?
That buttery note, you know, it reminds me in the daiquiri sense, it takes me into that kind of pearl diver direction of thinking, just where that buttery note is there.
Interesting,
but the citrus is really bright.
Yeah, I feel like the smoke kind of gets lost.
Smoke got lost for me.
Yeah, but I think I like that freshness of the cane. Maybe makes this a little bit more of a vibrant daiquiri.
Yeah. You're gonna make me pick a favorite again.
I am, for sure. Of the three, if I had to pick one, it's the Fumee Volcanique. Just because it feels young and fresh and vibrant.
I would agree. If I'm picking one, it's gonna be the Fumee Volcanique. There's a little bit of an element of surprise that I find really pleasing with this.
This is only our second drink. Well, technically our third if we count the tea punch with the ice, plus the neat sipper. So really this is round 4.
Right. And although we haven't consumed every bit of it, we're already up into the like 4 ounce range each.
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh, well, no, times 3. Oh, God. Never mind.
Gosh. Yeah, you might just have to crash here.
Maybe.
For the next drink, we figured, you know what, let's go in the direction of Tiki, but we also still wanted to keep it fairly simple, so not too many ingredients. So we went with the Donga Punch, which is a Don the Beachcomber drink. And so it's pretty simple, straightforward. It's the rum, it's Don's mix, which comprises of
cinnamon and grapefruit, yeah. Cinnamon syrup and grapefruit.
And then lime. So really 3 or 4 ingredients technically, I guess, for this. So simple, straightforward, and let's give it a shot. You start with the Jardin Fruite. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cinnamon up front, but then you get a little of that rum.
And the lime and the grapefruit make such a nice citrus blend for all of those flavors to integrate with. And it drinks really light.
It does, yeah.
It drinks light, but it's super satisfying.
Crushable, you know? But it's not super like rum forward. I get maybe some of the notes of that, the cinnamon, a little bit of the fruitiness. Good, easy drinking cocktail.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right, let's
see about the Creoles.
The Creole, Epi's Creoles, 8-piece Creoles. Cheers.
Cheers. Some more rumminess going.
Yeah,
That's for sure. A little more spirit forward.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, picking up less of the sweetness of the cinnamon syrup, but I'm getting a little more of the spice.
The spice on the rum is there more.
For sure.
Yeah, you definitely get a little bit of that barrel characteristic as well as the spice. I feel like it's a little more elevated and refined. The way that the rum shines and the balance is still there.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for.
Here we go.
Me, what have you done to me?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. You know, it's crazy. So far across the board with this rum, you still get that buttery cane note, very present.
It's present.
Yeah.
There's a viscosity, there's a richness to it that carries over, translates through all of those.
It really does. I don't know if I'm picking up a whole lot of the smoke again. Same with the last, we did a daiquiri.
Yeah, I think the citrus pretty much wipes that out.
Yeah, it feels a little dry and
tannic.
Yes. So the question is, which of the 3 would I go with? And I'm gonna say, for me, the Jardin Fruite, whatever it is, that's my go-to.
I feel like the Creole is more to my liking. This is more rum forward, which is always a good thing. I think for someone who is maybe less familiar with this cocktail in particular, Fruite or fruit, it's a more true representation of the cocktail itself.
There you go. Okay.
And then if you like the weird, austere, you know, like,
dabble.
Hey, that's weird. Let's try that. This one, and weird in a good way.
All right. For the next drink, we wanted to go with another tiki drink, but one that had a lot more ingredients plus another rum in it. So we're gonna see how well this does in something that has a whole lot going on. So we went with some 3 dots and a dash. And it's a Don the Beachcomber drink.
Don the Beachcomber drink, yeah. Probably one of his most famous, besides the Zombie, of course, which is hard to top.
Not only do the 3 dots and a dash have the Rhum JM rums in there, it also has some El Dorado 5-year, some dry curacao, some falernum, some allspice dram, some lime juice, some honey syrup, and some Angostura bitters. So there's a lot going on. Cheers. Start with the Jardin Fruite. That's a tasty tiki drink. If I say so myself, says the guy who made the drink. I would say this feels very quintessential or like a good example of the drink.
Beautiful example.
Yeah.
This rum fits into the format of the cocktail perfectly and gives you exactly what I would expect from a 3 dots and a dash.
Rum forward, it's juicy, it's boozy, it's spicy.
Are you getting that cherry?
Yes, I am.
The cherry really
100%,
shines.
Yeah.
I would put this 3 dots up against many and almost all that I've had.
Damn, you hear that?
So shout out to the bartender.
But also, he's saying that, but we've had like hell of drinks before this.
We've been drinking.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next one, which is the Epis Creoles. Well, I didn't think we were gonna get such a drastic difference in something so complicated like this.
More booze forward leaning.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Which is always something I like. You get plenty of spice.
Yeah.
The stone fruit comes through a little more.
A little bit, yeah.
The rum spice is what kind of like really has an opportunity to still shine despite those other ingredients being involved.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Bloody Mary. Tomato from the color, obviously, but that spice of the Worcestershire and all the other, I don't know, to me, it kind of weirdly got this weird tangent of like,
whoa, that's a wormhole, dude. But a little bit of salt in this and like maybe a salt rim, maybe some cherry tomatoes. 3 dots and a dash that way. 3 cherries and a dash.
All right, let's move on to the Fumee Volcanique.
Let's see with a little buttery scotch.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. It takes a little bit of a back seat, but there is that viscosity, that unctuous, buttery undertone. It's a long finish. I feel like there is smoke on it, but it is not a dominant note.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask the question. When it comes to 3 dots and a dash, what do you go with? What's your preferred 3 dots and a dash?
Traditional man. I'm going with
there you go.
The Jardin Fruite.
There we go. Cheers to that.
Yeah, there's no losers, but for a 3 dots, I'm going here for sure.
Yeah, I'm actually with you on that as well. So there you go. So that's it. We kind of gone through a number of different cocktails. We've gone through and tried them neat. We've tried them in daiquiris, tea punches, donga punches. We've tried them in 3 dots and a dashes. If you had to pick a favorite that was for cocktails, if you had to pick one that was your go-to, what would you pick?
In terms of just everyday application, being able to plug it into different cocktails. There's a strong case for this one.
Personally, for me, I'm gonna lean for the Epis Creoles.
It definitely stood out in every cocktail.
Yeah.
It stood out, so.
If you are a jaded rum nerd that has experienced all things and you think you know everything, I think this is something that might really scratch that itch that you're looking for new and interesting experiences.
For sure.
I think that might be the one you lean towards.
Yeah, and maybe next time we get together, we'll dive into, no pun intended, a pearl diver with this one.
What?
Yeah, we'll make some gardenia mix and see what goes down.
Really appreciate you coming on, hanging out with me in my kitchen. Hope the drinks were all right. But more than that, where can folks find and follow you online?
Yeah, folks can find me on Instagram. It's doc_parks. Fairly simple. That's kind of what I use the most is in my Instagram account. You can find me on docparksdesigns.com. We do have some really exciting mug collabs coming up this year, both with Woody Miller out of Oakland and Tiki Koa out of Tecate, Mexico. So stay tuned for that and keep an eye on my website. The tour upcoming is going to be Jacksonville just before Tiki A Go-Go in Orlando. That's early April. Late April, I'll be in Arizona.
I'll be there.
Excellent. Nice. So we'll see each other there. I'll be doing a little pop-up at Highball in Phoenix, and then a few really fun activations at Tiki Oasis, Arizona. So stay tuned for that as well as much more.
If you happen to be anywhere near where he's going to be, please check him out. It's great cocktails, great vibes, good fun. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all we want, right? We just want good fun. That's what he's all about.
That's it. That's how I got into this, and that's why I'm still into this.
There you go. All right, well, thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you next time. Cheers.